Hello everyone and welcome to Call Sign Charlie Models. Andre here, and we have another inbox review today. And today we have the 132nd SB2C-4 Helldiver from Infinity Models. So with the Infinity Models kits, they are nice subjects. The last one I did was a little bit under what I was expecting from Infinity Models, which is a subsidiary of HPH Models. So this is why they do such great subjects. But sadly, both companies have gone out of business. So you can find these on eBay sometimes, hopefully at decent prices. And then there's a lot of aftermarket sets to go with this, which is another disappointment in this kit. Was they have all this, and then afterwards they sell like the landing gear, the dive brakes, and all that stuff for it. So that is a little bit of a disappointment. But we're going to go ahead and see what's inside this box and check out the plastic and see how the quality is. I'm hoping that the quality is better than the previous one, which again was a little bit of a disappointment, but we will see here in a second. So let me get the camera turned around and set up, and then we will start going through the plastic. Alright, so we're back and we have the box art right here. Lovely box art on the front. Plastic by HPH Models right here. This is Aircraft Series number 1. So it looks like this was their first kit from Infinity Models, with a fuselage length of 350 millimeters. Now we go off to the side. One side doesn't have anything. The other side doesn't have anything either. And then on this side we have the a side profile of just the sketch art right here. We have a total of 47.8 centimeters in length, and then 14 centimeters in height, with a total of 319 parts right there. So we open up the box. Let's see how much is inside the box once I can get it open. Alright, so we're getting the box open, and it looks like there's a decent amount in here. Looks like we have some nice HGW seat belts in there as well. And then we open it up and there's a good amount of plastic in here. So I'm going to get everything set up, and then we can start going through the instructions, the decals, and all the extra parts, and then the plastic as well. So give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Alright, so starting off with the instructions, we have a nice repeat of the box art on the front, and then we have the additional sets for this kit as well listed right here. So we have landing gear or landing flaps, bomb bay, open gunner position, weapon set, which includes bombs and rockets, control surfaces, photo etch detail, and a folding wings set for this kit. So on top of the price of the kit that you just bought, you have to buy all these additional sets as well, which, like I said, is really a letdown for this kit and really a money grab from Infinity Models. And I think that is one of the reasons why they went under, was because of pulling this type of stunt right here. So going on, we have our legend of symbols that we're going to be using. We have bend, drill, option, file, scratch build, super glue, remove decal, color, fill, transparent foil, and symmetrical assembly right here. Alright, so we open it up. We have our sprue callouts right here, and also our color callouts using MRP paints, which I am really happy about because MRP is what I use. I love the paints. They're just a pour and go. They're a lacquer. They dry super fast, and they are super tough on that. So really, if you want to use a good paint, use the MRP paints. I've been hooked on them for about 4 or 5 years now, and I've not had any issues with any of their paints, and their colors are pretty much spot on. Alright, so continue on. We have more sprue callouts on here, and then we have another page of sprue callouts and our decal sheet, and then we are starting off with our cockpit area, getting our instrument panel on. Looks like we have some film or decals for underneath the actual instrument panel right here. Then we're working with our seat. We do have HGW seat belts with some photo etch buckles as well. And then we're getting on our bulkhead for our pilot with the headrest and a couple fire extinguisher and such. And then getting on the seat and control stick, and all the other little control levers as well. After that, we're getting all of that assembled, and then we're starting to work on the mid section right here with the radios, and also an instrument or radio panel for our back seater right here. And then we're moving on, we're adding more detail to the rear gunner section as well. So moving on, we are working on our fuselage halves, adding all the little control boxes and radio boxes and all the little detail parts that are in here. Really going to detail up the kit right there, and we're doing that for both sides. After that, we're working on our engine. Looks like we have some nice engine detail going through here. The push rods are all of the extra parts right here. Our spark plug wires, I'm not seeing any, so we're going to have to add the spark plug wires ourselves. Then we just have a bunch of little detail parts going in there. We have another section for our radio box, it looks like, going on there. And then after that, we are getting everything all assembled and then sandwiched in with the fuselage halves. We also have a wing spar right here to add in. After that's done, we are adding in the front firewall for our engine, and then adding the tops of our wings to our fuselage as well. After that's done, it looks like we are adding some frame detail to our flap area right in here, and then we are working on the under section of our wings, getting the rear wall or the forward facing wall for our flap well on there, and then a couple extra detail pieces. We also have a couple clear parts to add in right here. After that's all done, it looks like we're working on our horizontal stabilizers, and then another piece, I'm not sure what that is for, maybe our exhaust. Yeah, it looks like our exhaust is going on. Then we have our bomb racks right here. Then after that, we're getting our lower wings with our dive brakes and flaps on, along with our engine and engine cowl and our horizontal stabilizers right there. Then moving forward, working on our aft gunner machine guns right here. Looks like there's going to be a nice amount of detail on those. And then we're continuing on with the aft gunner, getting that done, and then our tail wheel, and then we're working on some canopy section stuff, and then we're working on our actual landing gear wheels. Then we have our prop, and then we're adding in our machine gun turret back there with our gunner seat, and the tail wheel with the tail hook right here, and then a couple other detail parts to go onto the horizontal stabilizer and the rudder right here. And then we're adding in our bomb rack and a couple other details to the edge of the wings, and then working on another piece of the canopy right here. Then after all that's done, we're adding in all of our canopy pieces and are closing up our gunner bay as well. Alright, now moving on to our decal markings. We do have some very nice decal markings. We have the SB2C-4 VB83, the USS Essex in April of 1945. Again, nice paint scheme on that one. Then we have VB12 USS Randolph, February of 1945. That one's okay, paint scheme on that one. And then, so we have two total paint schemes. So we have 1, 2. If I'm going to choose one right now, I'm choosing the VB83 Essex. I just like the tritone color scheme over the all over dark sea blue. Just my personal opinion. After that, we have our stencils going on here. All the stencils going on the left and right profile, top and bottom profiles right here. So there are a ton of stencils to add on to this kit. Then afterwards, on the back page, we have all the other Infinity aircraft in 1/32 as well. We have the Val, which we did the inbox review for a few weeks ago. And then all the other ones we don't have at the collection of callsign Charlie models. And none of the other ones, maybe the Vampire really interests me, but yeah, the Val definitely was a okay kit. Wasn't a great kit like I was expecting. Up next we have our decals. Decals do look nice. They're nice and thin. No real issues with those. Let's get zoomed in a little bit. Everything does look very nice on here. You have your instrument dials right here. Again, very nice. And then all the little stencils on there that are going to really look nice. There's a lot of them. but they really, once you get them on and you do the work, they really look good and make the aircraft look a lot better, in my opinion. After that, we have our HDW seat belts, and again, I love the fabric seat belts. They look so much better. And all you have to do really, after you get the buckles and everything in, which that is the one downside to these fabric seat belts, is it is a very tedious task to get the buckles into the seat belts. You have to have some fine tweezers, like the Ennies tweezers right here. These are absolutely excellent for this task right here. And then some magnifiers, because unless you have 25 vision or supervision, it's almost impossible to do it. So again, these are really nice. And to weather them up, all you do is, after you have all your buckles on, you take them and you roll them in between your fingers, and the oils from your fingers will dirty these up and make them look absolutely amazing. And then lastly, we have a photo etch fret with our buckles for our seats, and also it looks like we have an ammo feed chute right here for our machine guns as well. Alright, so starting off with the kit, we have our wing detail right here, and it looks absolutely amazing. Let me get the lights turned around so we can see better. Alright, so looking at these wings and the rivet detail on here. Rivet detail on here is absolutely amazing. The panel lines, everything nice and fine. There is a little bit of a texture to this, but it should be fine. And we also do have a little bit of flash on the edges as well. And then moving right along, the other downside to these kits are there are no locator tabs on these parts, so you do have to line them up and be very careful while waiting for the glue to dry. But on the inside, we don't have any issues. And then on the outside, again, absolutely gorgeous detail on here, just absolutely gorgeous. Alright, so up next we have our framing detail for our flap wells. There is some nice fine rivet detail on all these framings. Our guns, they do have a little bit of flash on them, and the barrels are not drilled out. So definitely going to look into the aftermarket set of that, and hopefully that's better. And then also our flap set. None of the dive brakes are drilled out right here. I mean, you do have some nice recess on it, but again, just a little bit. And I think they did this so you go out and buy the aftermarket set, and then you look on this side and it's looking pretty nice on this side as well. But I am not seeing any ejector pin marks on any place. Just a little bit of flash on the gun barrels, and that's about it. So, but everything else on here, the detail on it does look very nice. Alright, so up next we have our wheels and a few of the other detail parts. The wheels look like they have some decent tread on them. There is a little bit of flash on a couple of the wheels. I'm just hoping that when you glue the two halves together and try to sand out that seam, I hope that you don't lose a lot of that tread detail on there, because it is actually pretty nice. The landing gear struts, one piece. We do have the mold seam going down the middle of them, but again, that's really easy to clear up with your hobby knife. And then everything else on here just looks pretty nice. Not like outstanding. Oh, we do have a lot of flash on these pieces right here. I mean, that is a lot of flash. Flip it over to the other side. No real issues with anything that we're going to be able to see. Like these right here, no issues with those, and then everything else looks just fine. Alright, so moving on, we have another sprue. Have some detail for our cockpit. Right here we have some nice fabric detail molded into this piece right here with our headrest area, and then some nice rivet detail on this bulkhead right here. It does feel a little bit soft on here, but I mean, it should be okay. Everything else on here, like these, need to be drilled out on here. Maybe on the gunner section, the aftermarket gunner section, I'm sure that's better. of course. And then yeah, so everything else on here, on the reverse side, you're not going to be able to see any of this stuff, so not really worried about any of that. Alright, moving on to our next one, we have our engine cowls right here. Again, some flash on that. Our engine cowls do look, the rivet and panel line detail does look pretty good on here. The plastic is rough, very rough. It feels like almost sandpaper type deal. But yeah, and then on this side you see we lost a little bit of the rivet detail right in here as well, where it goes soft right around the edge. It's just not uniform on the rivet detail here. Then our wing spars, not worried about any of that. And then on our horizontal stabilizers, again, very nice rivet and panel line detail on those, and nice fabric detail on the elevators, where we can even see the frames through here as well. But again, just a lack of uniformity and a little bit of a going soft on the rivet detail, especially around the curves right here on the engine cowls. Now we flip it over to the underside. We don't have any ejector pin. Well, we have two large ejector pin marks right here, but those should be fairly easy to cut down and sand down. And then everything else, like the landing gear doors, we don't have any ejector pin marks on either of these, so that's nice. And yeah, again, we don't have any locator pins on these. Our props do have a little bit of flash on them as well right in here, as you can see, so gonna take a little bit of cleanup for that as well. Okay, moving on to our engine sprue. Alright, so our engine, I'm actually kind of disappointed in the detail on the engine. The cooling fans or fins are almost non-existent. You can barely, it looks like smooth plastic and you can't really tell until you rub your fingers over it. So a wash is definitely not going to stick in there after you get paint in there. It's going to look like a solid just rod right there. So that's a downside to that, and that's with all of the cylinder heads on here. So that is a major letdown for this kit right now, because that engine, you will be able to see a good amount of it when you look through the engine cowl. But all the other detail on here, just it's okay. There's a lot of flash around on this kit. Alright, up next we have our fuselage and wing. We get two of these sprues that are identical, just mirror sides, and we have the rivet detail on the wings, absolutely gorgeous right here, as you can see through that. Absolutely gorgeous on the wings. And then on the fuselage, again, absolutely gorgeous detail on the rivets going on. See on the, it does go a little bit soft. The panel line does go a little bit soft going around this bend right here. And then also on the bottom, the rivet and panel line detail does go a little bit soft. It is there. It just goes a little bit soft, like it didn't get fully molded around this seam. And we also do have some flash on the bottom right here. And then on the inside of this fuselage, we have some nice frame detail all the way through on here. We do have an ejector pin mark right there. That's going to be pretty difficult to take care of, but doubt you're going to be able to see it when the fuselage is closed up. And we also do have an ejector pin mark down here, but again, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. And also, like the rest of the kit, we do not have any locator tabs around this kit at all. So definitely getting everything lined up, you're going to have to do on your own. And also probably add some support, like plastic card right here, just to have something to actually help mate everything together. So again, I mean, the detail is very nice on the outside of here. And it looks, some of it looks a little bit soft. I'm not sure on how well it's going to hold a wash. But hopefully it does hold a wash nice, because the rivet detail on here is absolutely outstanding. We also have the panel line on here that's nice and crisp. So if you are doing the wings folded, there is a nice reference line right in here to cut, and then on the reverse side we don't have that line. So just gonna have to be very careful and just go straight from the top to get that done. But again, nice. The top detail on the wings, absolutely gorgeous on here. Alright, so moving on to our final sprue, the clear parts, and the clear parts look absolutely amazing. They are crystal clear, no issues with anything going on. We have our clear instrument panels, which they're glass all the way across, unlike Trumpeter, which has the clear instrument panel, but then the dials are hollowed out. The dials actually do have glass work, so when you have the decal underneath, that's actually going to look like a glass dial on there. Now getting those all masked off to paint up, that's going to be a little bit of a nightmare, but you should just take your time, and definitely will work out in the long run. But for all the other clear parts, absolutely gorgeous. We do have a little bit of flash around here, but it's not too bad. And then everything else, like all your navigation lights and everything, do look very nice as well. But the main canopy parts, they do look absolutely crystal clear and gorgeous. And get a mask on, you won't even need to polish these, they look so good. Alright, so that does it for the Infinity Models 1/32 SB2C-4 Helldiver. Now the kit, the exterior detail on it looks gorgeous. The panel lines, the rivets, all that on the fuselage and the wings, absolutely gorgeous. Some of it goes a little bit soft in a few areas, but it shouldn't be much of an issue because the detail is there. So it's a good starting point. All you need to do is go highlight it a little bit more with a riveter or panel line scriber, and it should be fine. It's not going to be very difficult to do. It's not like you have to make it up on your own. But the other detail, like the engine detail, very disappointed on that engine detail. The other disappointing fact on this kit is the fact that you have to get all the other aftermarket sets for this. I would have preferred them, especially for the price that we're spending on this kit, have all that detail in the kit or options. Or if you're going to do it, maybe 1 or 2 sets, not 7 sets for the entire kit. The other downside to the kit was the flaps. Like the detail is there, it's just not all the way there. It's they could have gone a little bit farther on it just to make it a little bit better. And like I said, with the money, with the price of this kit, and it coming from HPH/Infinity Models, if you didn't know any better, if you just knew about HPH Models and it being affiliated with Infinity, you would be expecting a top-notch model. This, in my opinion, is a low mid-grade model. It's definitely going to take a lot of work, especially with there not being any alignment tabs. Definitely not a beginner kit in that case. And then it also does have a lot of flash in it. The plastic also does feel a little bit rough. So again, this is like a low mid-grade kit in my opinion. And especially for the money, it's priced as a high-grade kit, but the quality of it is a low mid-grade. But anyways, that's everything I have to say about the Infinity Models 1/32 SB2C-4 Helldiver. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope if you're on the fence about getting this kit, I hope this helped with your decision. And I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, to like and subscribe. And comment down below. Comment if you've built this kit before. Let us know if there's any other snag areas that you came across. And until next time, have a great day. Stay frosty and happy modeling.